Good morning. How are you doing?
Take this picture, David, because I like to just get a little breath. And David just was like, hey, and then started it.
You see that what's going on over here?
Don't look over there. It's a whole madcap over there. Well, good morning, everybody. Y'all, we was nervous. Let me tell you why. Yesterday afternoon, our internet went out. Like went out. Ours did. My mother-in-law's did. It went out. David is looking around. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He calls them. They run tests on it. I mean, first of all, I was like, David, did you pay the bill? And he's like, yes, it's an automatic payment, Melissa. It just takes it out and it's done. He said, I called them. They ran tests on it. They can't even figure out what's wrong with it. And it won't be until Thursday afternoon that we'll have internet.
Well, the technician.
Right. No offense to y'all. The very first thing I said was, how are we going to live without TV? How are we going to live without TV? But we come home last night after Halloween and it was fixed. Somebody did it. They were out working, I guess, late last night. So we're here. But we honestly thought, like, what would we do? I mean, this is I wish y'all could see this. This is a studio setting like we have never had before. If we don't have internet, we're up a creek without a paddle, as the youth say. I don't know what we would have done.
We could have tried to go somewhere and do it on our phone, but I don't.
It would have been terrible. So anyway, we were really nervous, but I was most nervous about television. But anyway, here we are. How was y'all's Halloween? And let me ask you this. I want everybody those are our questions for today. So I want everybody to tell us in the comments what candy you ate last night. Because you lying fool if you tell us you didn't. You are a liar. Candy was either given out of your house or passed through your house at some point. What candy were you sure to eat last night? Maybe it was just a little pack of jelly beans. Maybe you ate a full-size Reese's. Maybe you ate, like David, some Mike and Ike's. Who knew David Radke liked Mike and Ike's? I certainly did not. But what candy did you eat last night? Let us know in the comments right now. See, we have... Don't tell me none. That's a lie. It's an absolute lie. Okay? We've got Starburst, Almond Joy. I ate thank goodness. I thought it said I ate M&Ms out of the dog's mouth. That's like what in my mind was formed. Snickers. And I really did not eat candy. Jolly Ranchers, 6 peanut M&Ms. I only ate one little thing of Whoppers, but I did grab a hot dog and hot chocolate. Baby Ruth and 100 grand.
In fairness, she wanted a hot dog real bad.
Lots of the chocolate while I passed out candy. I ate candy at work, grape airheads. I haven't had a single piece of candy for 6 months, so I rewarded myself with 1 Reese's last night. Spoken like an alcoholic, who's like, I haven't had a drink in 6 months, so last night I had a double vodka. Is that a thing?
It would have been a single vodka if I'm going to ask. You said you had a single Reese's. Was this a regular Reese's cup?
No, she said
when you say single, did you have a 1 Reese's as the 2 cup? Did you have the double cup, whatever those are called?
The big cup.
The big cup.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what kind of loser you are. Just kidding. Love me 100 grand. I even ate more candy this morning. It's bad. I haven't touched my kids' candy. Now, last night, 1 regular cup. Stop. What kind of cup? Was it a big cup? Was it a regular cup? Was it a cup with pretzels in it?
Was it a pumpkin?
Was it a pumpkin cup? With just lots of... It's okay. It's okay either way. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, while we're on this, has anyone had the Reese's thing in the freezer? What do you call them?
Oh, they're Reese's ice cream.
Has anybody had those? I saw they had them at Sam's. It's a Reese's ice cream treat. It's got like a whipped peanut butter in the middle, chocolate on the outside. It's in the frozen section. It's one of those things that, in theory, look really good, but you could bite into it going, I was wondering if anybody had that one.
David, in theory, it looks good, but to me, just take your Reese's and put them in the freezer. That's the best gig right there.
And maybe that's all they've done. Maybe they've just taken the big cups, put them in the freezer.
My gosh, my whole, let's see. Oh, that's sweet. My whole family, including our grandpuppy, were Mario's family, like the whole Mario. There were a lot of Marios last night. There were a lot of Marios. There's still a lot of Elsas and Annas. There was a lot of Ariels. What else was there a lot of? Oh,
Mahomes and not Mahomes. Well, there were Mahomes.
Absolutely.
But there were a lot of T Swifts and Travis Kelce's.
Actually wish that I had thought through so that I could show y'all a picture of my little niece, Corley Dawn, dressed as Taylor Swift, and her buddy from school, Ranger, he dressed as Travis Kelce. And there is a video of them walking out of the house, and he's holding her hand, and we're all, our job is to all go, Taylor, look right here, picture, can I get a picture? And so we did that, but I noticed that Kylie has not put it up yet on the internet, and I think it's because Ranger, the little boy, starts laughing, and he can't stop laughing, and then when the video is over, his mom goes, Ranger, you didn't do it right, you were laughing, and he goes, well, somebody was going, Taylor! And it was very funny. And I think it was Ms. Melissa. It was me. I was like, I didn't know my voice was that low. I'm sorry. So I think that's why they're not put it out, because I sound like a predator in the background. But it was super cute night. Lots of cuties that came to Janet and Jeremy's house. Nobody comes out here to ours. We're too far out in the country.
Well, I did see a couple of people went to my mom's house.
Family kids.
Some family kids.
Family kids went over to see Grandma. And she opened up the door with a big old smile. She had her candy ready. But you know, that would have been it. She's great with 4 people. I want to see 24 kids. You know what I mean? I want to see all the different outfits. And it was
strange because I thought this was very wise on the Yancey's part. For the kids, they had all this great candy. Mm-hmm. But then for the parents, they had Tylenol or ibuprofen. They had
or it'd be like, Janet would be like, Swedish Starburst? Oh, you want a Starburst? And then Jeremy had a bottle of Advil and a bottle of ibuprofen. And he's like, and what would you like? And parents were literally like, can I have 2 Tylenol? He's like, sure can. And he was passing out Tylenol and ibuprofen, and that was funny to me. But
and then some people would just walk in and eat our hot dogs.
That's right. We made a ton of hot dogs, and we would say, are y'all hungry? And the kids would always want a hot dog. But last night, I got to Jeremy and Janet's house, and I went on in, and no one was there. And
when I dropped you off?
Yeah, they weren't there. And Graham was there, but he was getting dressed, and he was leaving with Remy to go trick or treat. And so it was just me in there, and I saw all the stuff to make their chili. They hadn't started the chili yet. That drives me nuts. I'm a girl who cooks chili, and then I let it cook for like 4 hours.
It's got to
get in its witch's brew.
Congeal doesn't sound good for chili, but that's what it's got to do.
Yeah. But I go in, I open up the fridge, which I told Janet, if I was a country singer, I would write a song called If Kitchens Could Cry, the Janet Yancey song. I mean, I know she don't cook, but this is ridiculous. You open up their fridge and it's like half a bottle of mustard and 6 Red Bulls. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen. But I saw his 2 things of meat, and so I started cooking them. And then he comes walking in about 5 minutes later, and he said, oh, thank you for starting that. And I said, yeah, no problem. He said, do you want to take over the chili? I said, no, you love to make chili, and you make good chili. You make it. It was horrible. Did you taste it? It had 0 flavor whatsoever.
I had one of my hot dogs that I put a little chili on top, so it would not enough to.
I'm going to ask you guys a recipe question. I've never known anyone to do this. Number 1, he had 3 cans of tomato chunks. You know, Hunt's makes them for chili, diced tomatoes for chili. And he puts them in a Ninja blender and blends them up. Just, you know, a little bit. Like, he's like, I want it like, I don't need it like water, Janet. I just want it kind of pureed so that people aren't eating chunks of tomato. Okay. Okay, I can kind of see that. What do y'all think of that?
But sometimes chili does have little chunks of tomato in it. So
you would actually hate that because you don't like chunks of tomato. So I would think you would have preferred that. But my second thing is, then he has a bottle of V8 tomato juice. Yeah. And he said, I get spicy V8 and I pour a little bit of that in there as well. I've never heard of that in my life. Anyway, all that to say, when I do the meat for my chili, chili needs to cook low and slow for a long time. That's what I say. I like the chunks of tomato. Somebody else says, I just buy tomato sauce. Thank you. But when I'm cooking my meat, I am putting in tons of garlic. I'm throwing in onion. I'm throwing in all kinds of seasoning. And I'm definitely putting in chili powder and cumin. He never once put in either of those. He just put in packs of chili mix. Okay?
Wouldn't that be in there?
I guess so. But I just doubly flavor mine. He cooks his meat without any flavor whatsoever, not even salt and pepper. And then over on a side thing, he cooks his onions and he lets them get like translucent and then he adds them. It's very weird.
Saute, I think is the word you're...
Saute. Anyway, he said, what did you think of my chili? I said, I think it is bad.
He also put 3 different kind of beans in it, didn't he?
I said, it's not good, chili. It's not good. And I can say that because I've eaten your chili many times and it was good, but that was not good. And he said, I agree.
Maybe it's the sitting. Maybe like today it tastes great. Maybe.
I ain't going to be over there to try it. I'm going to tell you that.
You know.
Did I get the pictures I sent you, Melissa? No.
Who said that?
Sonny? No. What pictures? I didn't. Where did you send them to? Let me know.
Speaking of, chili type things, I had a really good chili type soup at lunch yesterday.
I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm going to use my fist to punch you in the face. Actually, I did too.
It was more of a taco soup.
Actually, I did too. I ate Grandma's soup again. It was I went over to her house and I go, what is it? What is it? It isn't chili. It isn't taco soup. What is it? She just looked at me and smiled like she wanted to tell me, but she wouldn't. She said it's actually more of like a Mexican stew. It was so good. But y'all, something came to me yesterday after I talked about her cooking. Something came to me. She makes her stuff with love. And I'm never going to be able to match that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I make stuff out of
Venom tastes a lot different.
I make stuff out of the absolute necessity that I have to feed this family. And my mother-in-law makes stuff with love. That's why when she sends over peanut butter cookies, I'm like, I could have made that peanut butter cookie in my sleep. Nobody would have eaten it. She sends them over and they're all flocking around them. And now I know why. She's got a heart of love when she stirs them up.
Yeah. Desperation has kind of a sour taste.
It's a bitter pill. It's a bitter pill. And I keep adding it to my food. Okay? And now we know why HelloFresh won't call me back. All right. Okay. I have got, today is We're Here For You Wednesday, and I've got some questions, and I want to go ahead and get started on them because they're not short questions. But I do want to start by saying that one of the questions came in last week. And I remember saying last week, oh, we talked too long today. We're going to let y'all go. We've got a question. It'll last. It'll be fine. When I went back and looked at it, I'm like, oh, gosh. My apologies to the woman who sent this. If you were needing an answer like ASAP, I am really, really sorry. This is not normally the kind of question I would have left on the back burner. Might have been fine to leave on the back burner, but my apologies if it wasn't. Okay, so we're going to jump into some We're Here For You questions. We've only got 3. One of them was really quick, but the other 2 are not. But as always, we want to hear from you in the comments. So as I'm reading these questions, you tell us what you think, and we'll let the person who wrote this hear what the city is abuzz about. How's that, Dave?
The nation.
The nation.
The world.
The world is saying about their question. Okay.
You know, just that just makes me think of. If you aren't aware, wherever you're watching, you may be watching right down the road from us here and think, well, it's just us people that are local. But they're not only, I feel like almost every state, if not every state, is represented. But then we also have, I've got messages in the last week or so from Thailand, from Germany, Australia, New Zealand.
Hold on, do you want me to do the accents to say thank you for each of them?
Absolutely.
Say the first one. Say the first one. Say Germany.
Germany.
Thank you.
Thailand.
Thank you.
Australia.
Thanks. Thanks, mate.
New Zealand.
Slang, smile.
Of course, the UK.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
Sounds like you went back to Bangkok there, but anyway, I have to stop this because I can't take this anymore. But we love all of our friends from around the world as well. So anyway, Australia.
So, I don't know why, mate, but you always have to talk up. You got a little bit of sunshine in your mouth. That's
Never
what I
heard anyone from Australia. Yeah, I feel bad now. The United Emirates, Canada.
United Emirates. I got this one. I've got this
I know.
David. I've got United Emirates. Okay. And thank you for watching.
That was like someone in another dimension watching, like in the 30s, that had lost their teeth.
Thank you for watching.
And now we're over in Ireland.
Canada next?
Canada.
Thank you. You for watching. For watching. Oh, thank you for watching.
I believe we do have people in Ireland, so we'll count that as Ireland.
That wasn't even Irish. That was French. There's French in Canada, David. Oh my God. Learn your states. Learn your states.
The last one, though, it's actually a very special individual person. The last one is Selma Hayek. No, not Selma Hayek. Yeah, Selma Hayek.
I don't know. This is Selma Hayek. Is it Selma Hayek? Selma Hayek is watching this?
No, Shakira. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Shakira.
Shakira.
Okay. And to her, I was saying, I'm looking for water. I'm looking for water. I'm looking for water.
Oh, and last, I don't want to let our Tennessee friend down. It's always good to have Michael McDonald. Thanks for watching.
What is he saying?
I'm totally. You just gotta put rocks in the bottom of it.
What is he saying? What is Michael McDonald saying? That's not what he's saying.
That's not him.
I don't know.
Okay, really, we got to get to the questions. But Kenny G, thank you again for watching.
And to Kenny G, I would say.
And that guy from the penny whistle commercial back in the 90s. No, it was like this. Oh.
Thank you.
That was good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't know. Stop. Not all of those people watch. All right. Here we go. Question number 1. Can you talk to me about the type of adoption you have with your children? Or I guess it would actually be their birth parents. Did y'all choose closed or open? And what is standard these days? Thank you. Lord, I hope she wasn't waiting to make a decision based off of me reading that last week. Can you talk to me about the type of adoption you have with your children? Guess it would actually be their birth parents. Did y'all choose closed or open? So if you are not familiar with adoption because you've never gone through that process before, there are two types of adoption. As she points out, there is what they call a closed adoption and what they call open. Closed adoptions mean that you never meet the birth parent, I believe. That you never meet the birth parent. They never meet you. They will have chosen you based off of some information that they were given, maybe through the attorneys or through a birthing facility kind of thing, adoption agency. You never really meet. And once that adoption has happened and it is done and sealed in the books and that baby is theirs officially, you don't keep up with one another. You don't ever know what happens to the mom, and the mom doesn't know where you live. I would say that it was absolutely standard to have a closed adoption in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and probably even the 90s. Okay, so when you hear people say, I'm looking for my birth parent, chances are that has come from a closed adoption.
And I think they're still around today, though.
Sure.
You're just saying they were bigger.
The second one is called an open adoption. And that is when you do meet the birth parents and they do meet you. Maybe you can meet them even before the baby is born. You spend time with them. You get to know them. And then you have the option to keep up with them throughout the years so that they can see the child growing up. Again, open adoptions, you have the option. It doesn't mean you have to. In the 2000s, open adoptions became much more standard because they became much more feared much less. I believe a lot of that has to do with social media. I believe it's easier to keep up with families now. It's easier to look on social media and see a child growing up. So why keep it closed, right? We chose to do an open adoption, even though that scared the bejesus out of me and David. But we chose to do that, and we have found, through talking with a lot of people, that that's kind of standard now. One of the things that our adoption agency told us was, you will be shocked. It will not, rarely ever do we have a situation where the birth mom drives people crazy, wants to see pictures, reaches out constantly. That she's like, I don't even know that has ever happened. And it certainly has not been the story for us. The birth moms certainly know where we are and can certainly see our children growing up because we have made our life so public. And it's through social media that they have reached out to us. In fact, Rocco's birth mom has reached out to us maybe once in the last 13 years. Did I say Remy's? Remy's birth mom. Rocco's maybe twice in the last 6 years. They very much keep their distance. They are very honoring of the family. That is your family. We have found it to be perfect. If I reached out to them, they would respond. But they hardly ever reach out to us. It's just been beautiful. I don't know what your story is, and I really wish I did. I wish you had told me more. Are you considering adoption? If so, I would absolutely encourage you to do an open adoption. It's a beautiful way to go. And also, I'm going to let David speak in just a second. And also, I think our kids, they've never said this, but I think Remy and Rocco appreciate the fact that we chose to do an open adoption, that we are open to their questions, that we are open to showing them pictures. The reason we even have pictures to show them is because I was able to reach out to the birth moms and get them. So I'm going to let David take it now, and I'll read some comments as well. And you can place restrictions on how open you want it to be, maybe just pics, or you can do visits. Someone else says, we have a closed adoption with our 2 kiddos because they were adopted from foster care and their birth parents were not appropriate. Lots of drug use. Okay, so absolutely, I can completely see why that one would have been closed. My birth mom found my sister via the internet that she adopted out. And Maddie's mom reaches out once a year on her birthday. But we do okay, so see, lots of different ways to do it. David, you maybe can speak to that as well.
No, I think you did it. I think you did it great justice. We've not been in that realm in a while to definitively say what's more, predominant than the other. It seems like open adoption has probably taken the majority. We will say, too, that we know a few friends, we're not as close to them now, but like when they adopted, the birth mother was very involved in their life, like would come to their house a couple of times a year and would come and have dinner. And that, that's a rarity from what I think I know. I'm definitely in our situation, but even other people we know. But I think that's something where between the birth mother and the adoptive parents, they kind of feel each other out. They kind of see what might be a good rhythm and those kind of things. So I think there's everything in between, like us, where it may be way over on one side and an example of the other. I think it's probably everything in between. But I think it just brings a lot of peace at some point when your child does want to know a little bit more. You know how to get in contact with them. The other side, I think there's also some peace for the birth mother. An example that they gave us when we went through the process, we had this kind of fear of, this lady looking through the fence at our kids and wanting to see what was going on and those kind of things. And they said, you don't have that with an open adoption because you can send them updates, you can send them pictures. They don't have to sneak around to see. And so I think that gave us a little bit of peace as well, too. So. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I hope that helped. Our second question came in. I don't even know if this was meant to be a We're Here For You Wednesday question, but it was, Mel, did you know Channing Tatum is getting married and how do you feel about that? I do know that Channing Tatum is getting married and he is getting married to Zoe Kravitz. Am I wrong for saying I don't foresee Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz growing old together? Okay, I'm going to call it, this is going to be a Hollywood marriage. Okay, it's going to last for a couple of years until they get older and they realize they've grown apart. These two are not destined to grow up and have grandbabies together. Don't see that happening. Do you?
Well, I hate to say that about any marriage. I would like people to take marriage a little more seriously, but I can totally hear what you're saying. I don't know that much about her. Her dad seems like one of the coolest dudes you could be around. And her mom always seemed a little bit, if the wind blew a direction, then she changed, her thoughts and whatever. So I don't really know her. Definitely what we know from the public side of her mom, you would think, yeah, she's going to have to get up and replan at some point. But
we're talking about people we don't know. This is not nice of us. But they just asked my opinion. I did hear he was getting married. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. But I'll tell y'all, I've been over him for a while. Haven't I, David? I've been over him for a while. I hadn't talked about him in a long time. I'm moving on. Okay, next one. Melissa, you were talking the other day about having people to carry your casket. You said you need just enough friends to carry your casket. Actually, that would be male friends because women don't carry caskets. Okay, somebody's actually been listening to the show. Okay, that would be male friends because women don't carry caskets. So I think I'm up a creek. What about you? Also in the area of friendship, how do I put myself out there more? I'm an adult woman that hates the thought of dating, but that's what making friends feels like these days. Any tips? Do y'all find that? Answer in the comments. Do you find that nowadays, as an adult rather, making friends feels almost like dating? I would agree with that statement, actually. And I think it's because when you're younger, you're in school and then you're in college. So you're around people all the time and it's just so much easier to do. But when you become adult, it's work. It's work to make friends. And so I would 100% agree with that. Andrea says, yes.
I think the other interesting thing is, so you talked about high school and college, there's kind of like this natural thing. But I think too, in like a job, in a workforce, you can have like work friends that, you know, in general, you want to be nice to your work friends. You want to try to get along with them. You're both going to be with each other for, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And so I think sometimes you can think, this is a nice friend. We ought to go try and do something. Mm-hmm. But when you go and try to do something, you realize this is very awkward without the spreadsheets involved in our conversations or whatever it is.
People are saying that it's anxiety inducing nowadays to make friends. And I agree, it is hard. We are relegated to life behind a computer. If you're at work, you're behind a computer. If you're at home and you work from home, you're behind a computer. So face to face is hard and being around people is hard. I agree with this comment. I also find it odd. I hope this doesn't sound like a snotty thing to say. I also find it odd when women try to make friends with other women who clearly aren't their cup of tea. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. I've been at 2 events within the past 2 weeks that were women events. Women go to them. Women are in the crowd, primarily all women. And I am a people watcher. In both events, there were round tables that were set up. Women would walk in and they would look around for a table and they would inevitably choose a table that looked nothing like them. For instance, I saw a woman in her, I don't know, I'm guessing, late 50s, 60s, in a business suit. Like a nice, she just got off work at the bank or something. Walk in. There is a table of business dressed women, and they have 2 open seats at their table. There is another table of what look like young moms in athleisure wear holding their Stanley cups, and they have a seat, and she chose that one. Why? She didn't know anybody there. I watched her. And before you say, well, maybe those chairs were safe. Nope, I watched. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you can walk into somewhere and there is a knitting club and there is a pole dancing club, why in the world would you not go to knitting if that is more your speed? I don't get that. I'm going to go to a pole dancing class and try to make friends. But that's not like begets like. Go to where you're like. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? I'm going to make friends much easier in a bakery than anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
The health food store.
We want health food store. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
Well, I'll say I'm just using that specific example you gave. One, she could have just got off work and didn't change, but she might have been in the same leisure wear. So stylistically, maybe she would fit there, but she wasn't. But also, and this would be a great pat on her back, she might have not been looking around the room and seeing where my needs could be met or where I could be entertained or where I could be fed. But she might have been looking going, hey, I'm going to sit there because I know when I was that age, I would have loved an older person to pour into me. So it could have been
okay, David.
I'm just saying, it could have been a positive.
Well, anyway, I agree. It is really, really difficult. I agree. It is. I don't necessarily have any tips except for, where do you like to go? What do you like to do? Go to those places and do those things because people like you will be there. If you like to roller derby, join a roller derby club. People like you are going to be there. If you like to play softball or intramural sports, go there. Okay? If you are a fitness fanatic, go to a gym. But some of you are saying that's so anxiety inducing. What do you like to do? Go and do that. And you'll meet people there. Obviously, church is one thing I love to do, and that's where my closest friends come from, right? So that is my biggest tip. Now, your other one was that you said actually that would be male friends carrying a casket, so I think I'm up a creek. What about you? No, I got male friends in spades. I got male friends. That's probably one of my most difficult, is that I make friends really easily with men. And I think that's because as I was growing up, I was always a guy's buddy and never a guy's girlfriend. And, I've known girls, let me just make a side note here. I've known girls that were the same as me. They were always the guy's friend and never the girl's. And I'm thinking of one woman in particular in my life. And she would always say, I have trouble making friends because I just am much better friends with men than women. Women are too drama. I don't like the drama. I like men better. They're just more low key. Okay. That's not my story. I actually love women and drama. I like it all. I like everything about women, love women, but I don't have any problem making friends with men. So I like to think I'm a little bit of both. Women who can't stand women, I don't like those kind of women. Women who say, I don't trust women. I just don't want to be around them. They're just way too much drama. That to me is a red flag.
A lot of times they're the woman you shouldn't trust around the man.
I think maybe you're the problem if you say that, but that's just me.
But you do have to get out there, sitting on your couch talking about how you don't have friends. Isn't gonna.
But one thing I will say, there is not a male friend I have that I don't love his wife and respect his wife and make sure that she knows that she is loved and respected by me, and that, like, I would never, ever, ever have a male friend where the wife was uncomfortable with it. Never, never, ever.
Or that I was uncomfortable with.
Not ever. And even if I loved that male friend and we had such a great time together, and David's like, I don't know why, Melissa, but I get the ick. There's just something where I would 100%, you got it. You got it. So he comes first, but
hey, let me tell you something else, and nobody roll your eyes. This is very, very true, and you'll hopefully see this in the comments as well. Another possibility is looking for people online similar to yourself, because there's some amazing friendships that you think, well, that's online, that can't be a friendship. The example that I have is our Radke family membership. Obviously, it's an online membership. It's inside the app, but because those people have similar, interests, similar likes, they're not identical by any means, but just similarities. They start spending more time, or they're commenting on each other's posts and those kind of things. And that is a beginning of a great relationship. Now, the cool thing with the Radke family, it's also come offline, and there are lunches and dinners and movies and all kind of things where people in areas can find each other because they had some similar things. So don't think that an online community may not be a good place to start. It's at some point it'd be great to take it in person, but it's at least a good start.
Speaking of which, great way to end. Tomorrow night, November the 2nd, Thursday night at 6 o'clock, we are going to be discussing saving Noah. And I am so proud of y'all. You have kept your lips sealed. Well, guess what? Tomorrow night, you get to open them and go, oh my word, Melissa, what did you have us read? That's right. We can talk about it tomorrow night. I know we're going to have lots of thoughts, and I cannot wait. I like a book that creates a lot of discussion, and I have a feeling this one is going to. So get on the app, look for the Zoom link. Look for the Zoom link, because it is not going to be one where I'm talking and you're commenting. It's going to be Zoom. We're going to look at each other. Okay. So get ready. 6 o'clock tomorrow night, November 2nd. It won't be long. Not going to take up your whole night, about 30 minutes, but we are going to do a live Zoom where we talk about saving Noah. I don't know, probably over 30 minutes. But
and
still.
hey, if you're curious about the Radke family, check it out. There's a link below. We'd love to take care of you, invite you in for the first month. Be a part of that. Be a fly on the wall, even if you haven't,
That's right.
read this and don't know anything about it. Be on a fly on the wall and just kind of watch. I think you'll enjoy it. So.
Okay. And lastly, golden moment, everybody.
See you guys.
I got this text this morning, and I'm sorry, it was just way too good not to share. Here's what it said. The greatest self-improvement hack ever of all time is to do what you say you're going to do. Just be a person who keeps your word. Start there. I love you. See you tomorrow.